We have it so good in America, we're just canceling words right now. Not the racial slur. That shit got to be gone forever ago. I'm talking about everyday words. Like on a plane, the flight attendant can't use the word turbulence anymore. They can say rough air and they can say light bumps. Light bumps! That sounds like a negative review for a Coke dealer.
Jonathan Kite is on the Adam Carolla Show.
Yeah, I don't like all the nomenclature stuff either at all. I mean, I didn't even like when cockpit became flight deck.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
What about master bedroom? You're not allowed to say anymore.
You're not allowed to say grandfathered in.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I did hear about that one.
I looked them up because I was trying to write something, and you're not allowed to say gypsy. You can't say gypped.
Oh, right.
So they gypped him out of it,
Yeah.
Stop, because it's derogatory towards gypsies.
Gypsies, yeah.
I think in that department, you can probably still get away with paddy wagon.
You probably,
and you can get away with jerry-rigged, which is German.
Oh, yeah.
Anything involving the Germans,
Yeah.
they're like, screw those guys. We can
Well,
make fun
also, there is there's kind of a weird thing that they don't really, there's a rule, which is like you go, all right, who are the minorities in this country? And you go like, okay, you got black, okay, that's 13% of the country there. And you got Hispanic, that's 31% of the country there. What about Asian? They're 4%. No, they're not. Well, but I thought we're talking about minorities here. There's less than half. They're less than half of. Yeah, I know they're doing good.
But have you seen how well they're doing?
Yeah, they're kicking ass. So leave them alone.
They're 1%.
They're not really. You go to UCLA. Walk around.
Remember how brief the Stop Asian Hate campaign was?
Yeah. Well, they don't want it. I'll tell you why the Asians flourish here. And so you kind of go, well, look, is this offensive or is this not offensive? And you go, well, how are they doing? Well, Germany, what do they got? They got Porsche, Audi, BMW. They're fine.
Yeah.
Right. They're fine. Okay, so make fun of them. And I'm like, well, I think the rule should be don't make fun of anyone or make fun of everyone, but not feel what their annual income is to see how they're doing. Here's what the Asians do, and you can tell, and what they've always done. And I don't think they don't even like. I think Asians stop the Stop Asian Hate thing.
Oh.
Because here's what Asians do. They come in here and they get the 10-year-old Asian kid and they go, what's his name? Well, it was Isawa. What's it now? Joe.
Walter.
Blend in. Go. Don't have anyone try to pronounce your name. Don't correct. It's not Isawa. It's Isawa. Don't do any of it. Your name is Joe. Your name is Sally. Go. Go blend in. Go kick ass. Go take over. Don't march. Don't look for a pride day. Don't tell people how to fucking pronounce.
Get straight A's and play golf.
Just play golf. Get straight A's, play golf, kick ass, take over. Do not fucking boast. Don't be loud. Don't wear jewelry. Don't drive, a Cadillac. Just blend. And you can kick ass. But the second you start marching and having Asian Pride Day and get a bullhorn on the campus, you're standing out now.
I've never seen an Asian Pride parade.
There isn't. They just go quietly blend in and don't have people struggle over how to pronounce your name. Now, the blacks go the opposite. They go, your name is now Nikisha. And it's like, okay, everyone's going to have trouble with that. Then you're going to correct everybody. And then they're going to go, I don't want to hire you because I don't want to be corrected. I don't know how to fucking pronounce your name. Don't do that. Get a basic one-syllable, easy name. Go blend in. No Rolexes, no diamonds. But you go and you kick ass and you'll own all that shit.
When you look
and
at
that's what the Asians do.
The immigration, when the immigration for Asians up, they look at the top 10 baby names of the year, It's like, wow, we got a lot more Joes this year.
Joes and Sallies.
Joe and Sally, yeah.
And no Asian pride, anything, no movement of trying to take back. No, you just go kick some ass.
Chinese New Year.
Yeah, that's all we got.
It's a hell of a party.
That's all. There's
but they're
nothing.
giving us money.
It's
like
good
they
luck.
Just give out
it's
money.
Good luck.
So
Chinese
of
New
course
Year's
they're going
so
to be
fun.
liked.
Yeah. All right. What was our story?
Oh, well, we can talk about how Karine Jean-Pierre has now switched her political affiliation to independent. Yeah, so the former Biden White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, KJP, as I like to call her, on Wednesday revealed that she was registering as an independent and announced a forthcoming book about her time in the tumultuous administration. So apparently, this is the best part, though. All of these Biden insiders are speaking to the media, but on anonymity only. And they are lighting up their like little group chats because they're afraid of what she's going to say about them. And Biden, obviously, as the House is starting this investigation of like who knew what when.
But when these press secretaries leave, and they always do, when was the last time that one of them left with a bomb to be like, wow, we didn't know that? Or we didn't assume that. When was the last? Because they all write books. They all do a press.
They go on speakers tours.
Exactly.
They make so much money.
That's how they have to make money.
Yeah.
They do this job. It's like somebody who plays sports just for the sneaker deals.
Yeah.
You're like, it's a thankless job. Everybody hates you, but you're doing this so that you can make money in the long run.
Well, apparently a lot of people in the West Wing hated her because she liked to be on camera, but obviously she did a really shitty job answering questions for the Biden administration, and she didn't do the managerial work
I don't think
behind
that's
the scenes.
Policy aside, I think any job for Biden, for Trump, for Obama, for Clinton, it's a bad job.
The press secretary job?
Well,
See, I actually think it'd be the most fun because everybody's going to hate you anyway, so why not?
No, that's what I mean. I go, you're going to get your entire life is a comment section on Reddit where people are just trolling you. Like nobody likes you.
True. The press doesn't like you.
Yeah.
People in the administration probably don't like
well,
you.
I don't think we can hold against them that they basically lie for a living because they have to lie for a living
to keep their job.
Well, what if you just went out? Like if you just went out there and you just went, I took a shot of sodium pentothal and I found out I had brain cancer and 3 weeks to live. So ask away. Is Joe Biden, is he addled? Is he affected mentally? You'd be like, well, obviously you've seen the tape. He doesn't fucking know where he is half the time. But don't worry, everyone else is basically running the White House, but he's not, so don't worry. But the part you should worry about is they're all crazy leftists. So you thought Joe was in the middle of the road. Joe is in the middle of the road. We literally have to get him out of the middle of the road. He doesn't know where he is, but he's got a bunch of lefty lunatics.
He's driving
running,
a truck that won't get out of the way.
Country, right? He's parked in front of Carolla's studio. He won't move. All right. So, any other questions? Like, well, no. Of course, you go. Joe's 100%. We just had a long talk. My problem is I need roller skates to keep up with that guy.
That's literally an abbreviation of what she told Don Lemon, by the way. Who Lemon asked her, like, hey, how is the president's cognitive abilities? This was back in 2022.
It's great.
Karine Jean-Pierre. Oh, we have it?
Yeah,
Sweet.
we have it.
He's the president of the United States.
Does the president have the stamina, physically and mentally, do you think, to continue on even after 2024?
Don, you're asking me this question. Oh my gosh, he's the president of the United States. I can't even keep up with him. We just got back from New Mexico. We just got back from California. That is.
Why is your voice so high?
That is
Don,
a question.
Donnie! I'm buying Coke off him.
But also, it's a weird. So here's how you know the premise is weird of her answer. He's the president. That's like saying your head coach just went 0-13. Should we fire him? He's the head coach of the Giants.
You're answering a question that nobody's asking.
Yeah.
It's not even a question. Yes, he's the president.
Yeah.
That's
no
well
one was, that's what I'm saying.
established.
Nobody was questioning that.
You got to laugh, and then it becomes laughable.
Well, I'm concerned if she couldn't keep up with Joe Biden in 2022, then maybe she needs to see a doctor. But she's not moving to the right. She is saying that she felt like the Democratic Party betrayed Joe Biden. The description of the book says it's set to be released in October, and it will look at the, quote, 3 weeks that led to Joe Biden's abandoning his bid for a second term and the betrayal of the Democratic Party that led to his decision.
Well, Joe Biden isn't anything. It's just the people who work the auto pen sort of with him. And that's all you really needed. Also, when they go like, well, you got to have the auto pen. I was thinking about it because, the president has got so many documents and so many things. When I wrote like my first or second book, they shipped 5,000 book plates, they call them. Mm-hmm. 5,000.
Yep.
5,000 little adhesive-backed 3x4 squares that you would sign, and then they'd stick them on the back of the book, right? I didn't get 800. I got 5,000. And they just, My whole life for the next 3 weeks was I'd have a stack like 4 inches high, and I'd just be sitting in bed watching TV, just sign. Wherever I was, I'd be standing in the kitchen eating, signs. Everywhere. I wouldn't leave the house without a stack of these things. It was a pain in the ass, but I didn't have an auto pen. Like, you can do it.
That's funny to think of you in the kitchen just with a feed bag on.
That's right. I had my nanny feeding me, but yeah.
No, but you're right. When we would
I said lips when she asked.
She goes,
hips
oh,
or lips?
sorry, hips.
I was like, no, lips. Yeah, I'm hungry.
But the thing is, like, the auto pen is so funny. What does his signature even look like? And as he declined, what did it become?
Hey, and here's the other thing, too. I realize I go out on the road, I bring all my books. I've told the story a million times. I just bring my books they gave me, and I sell them as merch.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get rid of them, basically. That's why I'm doing it. But I stand there in line after the second show and the first show, and people come up.
Yeah, they want your autograph, yeah.
If you took the 25 people that brought a book and just opened them up out in the parking lot and put a flashlight on it, the signatures would look marginally different because I'm just kind of rattling them off. For
sure.
You'd go, the same guy signed all these, but the first one and the third one and the 17th one are kind of different than one other. So when they're all exactly dead nuts on down to the millimeter,
it's a stamp.
That's an auto pen.
That's a really good way for us to see. Maybe that's one of the things that Congress can investigate.
Oh, they did.
I feel like every time I'm writing my name, it's like slightly different.
It's going to vary because you're a human being and you're in a little different position. And sometimes you're not even looking down. Sometimes you're just signing and taking a picture.
You're like, what's your name? John. Nice to meet you, John. Yeah. And then you're scrolling.
Well, the autograph hounds, they used to say the clearer the signature, the more it was worth. So that there's sort of not I don't mean mentally, but late stage, in the beginning when you'd get like the Beatles to sign, things were much clearer than when they had signed a billion things.
It's just scribble.
Yeah. Right.
Well, and then that makes sense too, because then it's an older artifact as well, most likely too. So it's like it's double. So it's like, yes, Paul McCartney and first album.
If I was Joe Biden, I would just sign a JB.
Yeah.
Justin Bieber?
Yeah. Come on, man. Just JB.
So
Bieber and I are the same.
Now there's going to be a big auto pen thing because you're going to go, literally the last day you pardoned a bunch of people.
Ooh.
But did you pardon a bunch of people or did they pardon a bunch of people?
Well, we all know he pardoned his son.
There's they. Yeah, but is Jill Biden in charge of the auto pen? Because they go, she was kind of running things, or Ron Klain or whoever in the cabinet was kind of calling the shots, and he was kind of out of it at that point. So is that Jill calling the
according
shots?
to the Tapper book, they're saying that they're members of the cabinet that spoke to Tapper that were like, we didn't even see him and we didn't know what was going on. We were hearing from Klain and like all of these other inner circle staffers.
Well,
so I think it is a legitimate question. I think like this could be it should be a real scandal.
It should be.
Nobody wants to.
But they want to turn the page.
Yeah.
And Karine Jean-Pierre wants to get a New York Times bestseller out of that one.
Yeah, my feeling, and it's kind of funny. I mean, Biden, he really bucked himself, and I'll tell you why. And I've been a broken record about this subject, which is sort of affirmative action, as we used to call it, or DEI, as they call it now. Look, it's fine if you run a fast food place and you're in a neighborhood and it's a predominantly black neighborhood and you go, why don't we take a couple of the black guys and put them up front at the counter and put the Mexican guy behind the grill because they could represent the community. But when it comes to really important jobs, just get the best, which can be black and it can be a woman and it can be a lesbian. You're shrinking your pool. Like if I just said, look, I need a roofer, but he's got to be albino. Then someone would go,
good job for him.
It's not a job for him. But like people would go, good luck finding a good albino roofer. And then if I found an albino roofer, there'd be a good chance he might not be the best.
And this is how we got Kamala Harris as our vice president.
Because we shrunk the pool. So Joe said, I'm going to have a vice president, but it's going to be a woman, and it's going to be a woman of color. And it's like, okay, going to be a woman, you've taken more than half the candidates out, because traditionally there's more men, politics or generals or whatever.
Because women are more risk averse and men are not.
I mean, that's
literally why there's more men in politics, because women tend to be more risk averse.
Yeah,
naturally.
if you just go, look, I'm hiring a plumber, but it's got to be a woman, I'd be like, oh, you just took 85% of plumbers and you threw them out.
Weird stat, actually. It's actually closer to 99%.
Oh, yeah.
Because I give campus speeches on all the different roles of men and women and the beauty and the differences of men and women. And literally plumbing and electricians, it's less than 2% are women.
I was trying to be magnanimous. And I was thinking about, as I was saying,
I thought you were going to say you're taking 100% God and you're just going to have shit in your toilet.
Well, what I was trying to do is make it cross over to Kamala, which is, yes, they're black women, Condoleezza Rice, there's qualified black women out there. There have been historically, but you've taken the lion's share of the people who could perform this task and you got rid of them mathematically. So now you're left with a smaller group, and now you go, I need a woman. Yeah, okay. And she's got to be black. And it's like, okay, now we're really getting finite here in granular. And then you pick one, and I go, well, now be careful, because she may not be great at this job.
Turns out.
And it turns out she was bad at the job. And it turns out you ruined your next 4 years because she wasn't up to it. And Karine Jean-Pierre, we want a black woman. And she was up there going, I'm the first lesbian black woman who's ever done the job. Great. Applaud. But be careful. She may not be the best at this.
Oh,
and that's what happened to her.
He did it with the Supreme Court, too.
Right.
Ketanji Jackson.
Right.
Same thing every time.
Right. And he inhabited his cabinet with look, there's going to be two considerations. One is, can they be head of the Joint Chief of Staff or the head of the whatever? But the other bigger one is, are they gay? Are they black? Are they a woman? And it's like, well, then you're not going to get the best group to do this. And that's what he did. And then he would get out there and he'd brag all the time. He'd go, this is the most diverse staff we've ever, and it's like,
as inflation is
yeah, but they're not. You got Janet Yellen, who's one of my mom's friends from when I was in high school, who seems totally inept and way overhead. A lot of these people, Mayorkas, they seemed incompetent, inept, and sort of over their head, but it's because they never should have been there in the first place. And also, as a citizen of this country, basically, I went on Tucker Carlson. We got to find this, Andrew. I went and did Tucker Carlson's show. It's 4 years ago. And I just said, Joe Biden is essentially a drunken airline pilot, and we're all on the plane. And if he wants to go get drunk and fly alone, that's his business. But you appointing incompetent people while we're on I'm on row 18 back here. No, that's not fine with me. You're incompetent people in the cockpit, and I'm on the fucking plane.
Right.
And so is all of America. All right, sorry. One more.
One more story?
Yeah.
Okay. So, communist country of Vietnam has now dumped their decades-old two-child policy. So China used to have the one-child policy, and then they realized, oops, this is a problem. Russia apparently has a shortage of women and children. This is why they were taking them from Ukraine, allegedly. But Vietnam is now facing declining youth population and a growing gender imbalance, with 111 boys born for every 100 girls. And apparently it's been going down since 2013.
How many boys for every girl?
111 boys for every 100 girls.
So it's 10%.
That's a new version of the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
111 boys for every 100
girls. Going down to Saigon, gonna get some pussy.
The Saigon Beach Boys.
Delta Mekong, here we come. Yeah, okay.
All righty. The study showed that the population of citizens, I guess this is where the concern comes in, ages 15 to 64 is now up to 70%. So I don't know how much of that is over the age of 60, but their average age of living is not that high. So they're concerned about all of their population dying off, and they don't have enough people to repopulate.
I'm just going to say to everybody, if I ever get into any kind of position of power and someone starts floating the ideas of what if we started working a deal where there was more girls or less boys or more boys and less girls, and I go, you ever see those sci-fi movies where the robot's everyone's best friend in Act One? We know how this, You know how this turns out, don't you? You just got to leave people alone. They'll procreate in however fashion they. Some people have 7 kids. Some people have no kids.
Yeah.
Some people will be gay. Some people have 2 girls. Some people have 3 boys. When you start fiddling,
it's creepy.
There's some point 40 years, 80 years down the road where you wish you'd left it alone.
For them, it's been 30 years because they started this policy in 1993. So
Wow.
it's a little more than 30.
I got my Tucker. What? When was this clip with Tucker? Would you know? Is there a date on it? We don't. It had to be 3 or 4 years ago. 4 years. All right. So 4 years ago. And by the way, Jake Tapper and all you folks, Jean-Pierre and all you folks are like, well, nobody told us the guy was in strong mental
Everybody
decline.
could see
Like,
with their
you don't
eyes.
have to tell anybody that. Like, here's what I'm saying. If I'm walking across the street and there's somebody who has dementia and is elderly walking on the other side of the street and not even talking, I can look across the street and go, that guy's got something bad going on. I can see the way his face looks. You don't need to be told. I wouldn't have to interview him.
Well, Tapper, now that he's trying to CYA, he's like, oh, well, it was the greatest it was the greatest unsuccessful cover up of all time because as everybody was covering it up, the American people could see what actually the hell was going on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes. All right. Is it me with the airplane pilot thing? All right, here it is.
How much of what they say, the woke people, the people in charge, the president and his acolytes, do they really mean?
4 years ago.
So, if you quote Martin Luther King and they denounce you as a white supremacist for doing that, which happens, I happen to know, do they really mean it when they say that?
No, I mean, I can't believe. I don't think Joe Biden means anything he
that's
says.
right.
I don't think there's anything that comes out of his mouth that he means. And, when he's talking about Jim Crow 2.0 or he's talking about, I heard him the other day saying certain nations are being pulled back or certain states are being pulled back into a Jim Crow where they're going to ask black people to count jelly beans before they can vote. And it's insanity. It's reckless. It's irresponsible. It's sort of insane. It's really sort of the equivalent to your pilot being drunk. Sort of like, well, he's not a bad guy. I know, but he's drunk. He's flying an airplane. Yeah, so he drinks a little. You know what I mean? He has a co-pilot. It is kind of that. You know what I mean? Like, well, he doesn't want to kill anybody. Yeah, I know, but he's a drunken airline pilot. That's what Biden is doing. He's just saying horrible, divisive.
All right, this is 4 years. This is 4 years ago. I'm saying he doesn't know what he doesn't know what he's
Back
saying.
when Karine Jean-Pierre was like, he's the president.
Yeah.
Oh, that was probably the redhead in there. That
She wasn't in yet.
Karine Jean-Pierre
Karine
wasn't
Jean-Pierre. No. It was the same year.
Pasaki.
It was
Pasaki.
back then?
Pasaki.
Really?
Because she
Well,
was.
this is April 21, so this is more than 4 years
21.
ago.
Whoa.
Well, I'm saying it's 4 years ago. So I think Psaki.
Yeah, you
Jen
might be
Psaki
right before
was
she went
in
to
there.
CNN.
Wait a minute, I'm right. I'm the one who's saying it.
No, he said it first.
He did?
Pasaki was in there till 2022.
Yeah,
Oh,
this
wow.
before. Yeah. And
Oh, wait a minute. Check the tape. I just told Elisha Krauss. I was like, you went Karine Jean-Pierre and was
I thought
saying blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, she wasn't.
And then he said, no, she wasn't.
no, she wasn't.
And he said it was the redhead.
All right, now we're going to check the tape.
God.